I never thought silence could be so loud until it became my grandson's only language. My name is Denise Mitchell, and I'm 42 years old. I live in a modest 2-story house in Atlanta, Georgia, where the magnolias bloom every spring and the summer heat sits on your shoulders like a weighted blanket. For the past 8 years, I've watched my grandson Marcus grow from a chattering toddler into a silent 10-year-old boy who communicated only through gestures, nods, and those heartbreaking brown eyes that look just like mine. The doctors called it selective mutism triggered by trauma. My son Jerome and his wife Shanice had taken Marcus to every specialist between here and Birmingham. Speech therapists, child psychologists, even a holistic healer Shanice found online. Nothing worked. Marcus had stopped speaking the day after his 2nd birthday, and no one knew why, no one except me. The secret I carried felt like swallowing stones every single day. It sat in my chest during Sunday dinners when Shanice would tear up watching Marcus point at the mashed potatoes instead of asking for them. It burned in my throat when Jerome, my strong, proud son, would step outside to cry where he thought no one could see him. But I saw everything. I always had. It was a Tuesday morning in June when Jerome called me. "Mama, Shanice and I are taking a trip to Miami for our anniversary. Can Marcus stay with you for the week?" "Of course, baby," I said, stirring my coffee at my kitchen table, watching the steam rise like prayers I couldn't quite form. "You know I love having my grandson here." That Friday evening they dropped Marcus off with his Spider-Man backpack and that gentle smile that never quite reached his eyes. Shanice hugged him tight, whispering, "Be good for Grandma, okay?" He nodded, and I watched my son's family drive away, their taillights disappearing down Peachtree Street. Marcus and I had a routine. I worked from home as a medical billing specialist, so I'd set him up with his tablets and puzzles at the dining room table while I worked in the next room. He was the easiest child, too easy sometimes. Never demanded anything, never complained. Just existed in his bubble of silence. On the 3rd day of their vacation, I decided to clean out the garage. The Georgia heat was unforgiving, and sweat was running down my back as I sorted through boxes of old Christmas decorations and Jerome's high school trophies. That's when I found it, the box I'd hidden 8 years ago, shoved behind paint cans and garden tools where I thought no one would ever look. Inside was a VHS tape converted to DVD. The label read Marcus' 2nd birthday in my own handwriting. My hands started shaking. I hadn't watched it since that day. The day everything changed. The day I made a choice that I told myself was for the best, but deep down I knew was about my own pride, my own pain. "Grandma," I froze. The box slipped from my hands and crashed to the concrete floor. That voice. That small, clear voice. I spun around, and there was Marcus, standing in the garage doorway, his eyes wide and focused directly on me. "Grandma, why are you crying?" I couldn't breathe. 8 years of silence, and now... "Marcus?" My voice cracked. "Baby, you're talking." He walked toward me, his small feet careful on the garage floor. "I saw you find the box, the one from my birthday party." The world tilted. "You remember that day?" "I remember everything." His voice was soft but steady, more mature than any 10-year-old should sound. "I remember what happened. I remember why you hid the video." I collapsed onto an overturned bucket, my legs giving out. "Marcus, Grandpa Richard was there that day," Marcus said, sitting down next to me on the dusty garage floor like we were just having a regular conversation. "He was yelling at you, about Dad, about how you raised him wrong, how Dad married the wrong kind of woman." Tears streamed down my face. My ex-husband Richard, Jerome's father, had been a cruel man in his final years, bitter and filled with prejudices I'd tried to shield our son from. At Marcus's birthday party, he'd gotten drunk and said terrible things about Shanice, about their marriage, about their mixed-up child. I'd told him to leave, we'd argued. And Marcus, my sweet baby grandson, had witnessed all of it. "You saw?" I whispered. "I was hiding under the table during the cake," Marcus continued. "Grandpa Richard got so angry he knocked over my birthday cake, and when you tried to stop him he pushed you. You fell and hit your head on the counter." I touched the spot behind my left ear where a small scar remained, usually hidden by my hair. Dad came running in, and there was so much yelling. Mom was crying, and Grandpa Richard looked at me. Marcus's voice finally wavered. He looked at me and said it was my fault, that I ruined everything, that I was a mistake. "Oh, baby," I pulled him close, finally understanding. "Is that why you stopped talking?" He nodded against my shoulder. "I thought if I stayed quiet I couldn't ruin anything else. I couldn't make people fight." "And the video?" I asked, though I already knew. "You hid it because you didn't want Dad to know what Grandpa said. You didn't want him to know that Grandpa hurt you. You wanted to protect him." I had hidden that video, erased all evidence of that terrible day, and told everyone that Richard had simply left early because he wasn't feeling well. He died 6 months later, a heart attack. And I never told Jerome the truth about his father's final ugly words. I thought I was protecting my son from pain. Instead, I'd left my grandson drowning in silence, carrying a weight no child should bear. "I'm so sorry," I sobbed. "Marcus, I'm so sorry. None of it was your fault. Your grandfather, he was wrong. He was sick in his heart, baby. You're not a mistake. You're a blessing, the best blessing." Marcus pulled back and looked at me with those wise ancient eyes. "I know that now, Grandma. I've been watching all of you. How much Dad and Mom love me. How hard they've tried to help me. How you look at me like I'm the whole world. I wanted to talk so many times, but the words got stuck." "What changed?" I asked, wiping my eyes. "Why now?" He gestured to the box with the DVD. "When I saw you find that, I saw how much you were still hurting too, and I realized we were both keeping secrets to protect people we love, but the secrets were hurting us more." From the mouths of babes, I called Jerome immediately. And emotional stories like this one, subscribe to Silent Truth Diaries and comment your thoughts below. Sometimes the stories we keep hidden are the ones that need to be told the most. What secrets have you been carrying? Share your story with us.